Race 2 of the Women's Bobsleigh World Cup. We're in Lake Placid, New York, upstate New York, close to the Canadian border in the beautiful Adirondack Mountains on a perishing, bitter cold day. Hello everybody, welcome to our coverage of the Women's Bobsleigh World Cup at the venue of the 1932 and 1980 Winter Games. This track opened in 2000. John Morgan is just alongside and just as much of a challenge as the old track.
Well, the track built for the Goodwill Games, you know, it's about a mile long, and it is a challenge for anybody who comes down it, good, bad, or ugly. This makes the athletes really open their eyes. Curve 1 to 2 to 3. Now look at the technology. Look how good the camera work is here. And you know, the track's bumpy. The reason it's so bumpy is because the weather changes here in Lake Placid so frequently. We got 20 below zero weather this morning. It's going to be raining by Sunday. But the Devil's Highway, 70-mile-an-hour speeds here, and you just got to keep it together into the labyrinth. The exit of the third labyrinth, you come into Benham's Bend, named after the Lake Placid resident who won 2 silver medals at the 1952 Oslo Winter Olympic Games. Now into the finish curve at 18-19, you know, this 19 exits going uphill, and this little uphill section, we've seen a lot of time lost there over the years. Very challenging track. Alana Myers owns the track record, and she's one of the favorites in today's competition.
Alana Myers has got plenty of experience here, a winner 2 seasons ago. USA also claimed victory last season in January of this year with Jamie Grubel pose. It's warming up nicely. It's up to -13 now. The ice temperature, though, isn't shifting much. Still -16, so there will be a lot of athletes spending a lot of time, and very wisely too, inside. Time to say a big, huge thank you to all the track workers here, Tony Carlino and the crew, and the TV cameramen who are out in all weathers here. Andrea Grecu will start proceedings ahead of teammate Maria Constantin of Romania, and we have a 14 sled field. The German girls not here. They, like the men, are testing equipment back home in Königssee in Bavaria, but it will still be a tough job with the US, the Russians, the Austrians, the British, the Koreans, with 2 sleds here as well for their women, and of course the USA. Now the woman they're all going to have to try and beat, though, is Kaylee Humphries. Kaylee has 3 wins on this track. We've had 6 winners in the last 12 seasons, 3 different winners in the last 3 seasons. Kaylee Humphries, 3 years ago, won the last of her 3 to date gold medals on this track. Sandra Kyriasis is the all-time women's bobsleigh winner here with 5 victories in women's competition. Nikki Minicello and Jill Cook of Great Britain won their women's world championship title here in 2009, coached by Malcolm Lloyd. And the world champions in 2012, Kaylee Humphries, and her then brakewoman Jennifer Cuccetti. Let's get the second race underway in our Women's Bobsleigh World Cup with Andrea Grecu. She's got Erica Halle behind her. And these girls have all braked for Maria Constantin. Now, the Romanians splitting into 2 separate teams.
You know, Greco is a 100-meter sprinter herself. The Romanians have good athletes here. They're in the Canadian Borrowed Sleds, Lend-Lease program from Canada. Did that at Whistler, but she didn't compete at Whistler. She had a couple crashes in practice, did not qualify. You have to have 2 successful qualifying trips to qualify for the race. But she's here in practice, has done decent in training all week. Everybody's done well here. The conditions of the track haven't produced, I think, one crash in training all week.
Big run so far from Andrea Grecu. This is one of the temporary weaknesses, a Eurotech sled that she's had from the Canadians. Wow! Oh, high line. And the brakeman the brakewoman will feel that hit on the hip through the chicane, double tap.
You just don't see pictures like that on those tracks.
Too many. This is wild track. Lake Placid always has been. Good lines through the heart and up to the line.
You know, Martin, you say wild, it's just maintaining the personality that the track on the other side of the road had when it was built and opened on Christmas Day, 1931. Lake Placid's always had the reputation as a challenging place to come.
less boilerplate in this current configuration, I guess. Andrea Grecu down safely. A couple of wide-eyed moments. Look at
Watch
that.
this. You can't find a higher line than that in that curve. And,
yeah.
But, you know, give them credit. They didn't steer too much. And this is, you know, 100 meters later, she's way high above the calendar. She's got to correct that. She's new. She's
a tall girl as well. She's definitely, you know, 6 inches taller than Maria Constantin. So Maria Della with their new brakewoman, Olivia Wild. Olivia, born in Hungary, now competing for Romania. And she's another sprinter hurdler.
Maria's 25.
Paul Niargu, their coach. The Romanian team doing so much on such a tiny budget.
She's got a track and field background herself, and her favorite athlete is Florence Griffith Joyner.
Another borrowed sled. Guess where this one comes from? It's the same sled they used in Whistler with the Sydney Opera House down the side, giving you a little bit of a clue as to its heritage. 5:83 getaway, just a fraction slower than their teammates.
Maria was here a lot extensively last spring driving. She was here for like 3 weeks. She competed also in the 4-man women's world championship event that they staged in Innsbruck last year.
Helmet will drive.
Yeah,
that's definitely the way.
Yeah, that's for sure. 1,300s behind her teammate, but she was also 1,100s down at the start, so she could eat into it. That's much better.
Yeah, not as high, not as violent on the outlet from Benham's Bend. She's got a good run.
That's good.
Here we go.
Lines there. Speed.
Little late.
Better speed. Gotta say, she could take over the lead here, right to the 100. The green numbers, head-to-head Romanians here.
Honours even, 57.72 for both Romanian sleds.
Hey, Paul, how do you like that, Paul? Boy, that makes it easy on him, right?
Okay. Yeah, well, if they can tie after the second heat,
it's a real good for the coaches. They head into the Christmas break, but these are good athletes. They, you know, they're like the Brazilians. They work on nothing. They show up at every event like they're the World Cup leaders. They compete with pride, and Romanians got a great tradition in the history of sport of bobsled, including their last World Championship medal. Watch how high she is here.
For Christine.
The last World Championship medal, I think, for Romania was on the old track here in '69. Pantero, I think the guy's name was. How do I remember that?
Next up is Christine De Bruyn, another Alberta native. She's got Catherine Medeiros on the back. De Bruyn, a first season in the World Cup for her.
A couple of little short steps there before she got in the sled. Same start time as, you know, as the #1 Romanian team. There's a bad skid right there. Christina got to clean that up and watch out here in 3. Steers around there. Well, corrects. Takes one hit.
Double left-handers 3 to 4. Double right-handers follow 5 and 6.
She lost a little time in curve 1 and 2 straightaway. See if she can make it up with good lines here. Oh, she has. Exit, decent out of shady. And watch how high she gets here. Not bad at all.
Yeah.
Christina and her husband in the 2-man competition. Look at that line. Nice.
200s up, good-looking run from Christine De Bruyn.
Almost 81 miles an hour. Whoa, and is she flying to the bottom part of the track. So Christina De Bruyn showing some good driving lines here. 57.08. That is less than a second off the track record of 56.28. You know, we could get close to that track record with Kaylee Humphries and Myers and Grubel Poser coming up.
Last Canadian not called Kaylee to claim the medal here was Helen Upperton with Shelly Ann Brown. They took bronze 6 years ago.
Look at that mistake between 1 and 2. That's worth 25, 30 hundreds at the bottom. These were great lines down here at the bottom part of the track. Impressive.
Is it your time, Rizzo?
Alicia Rissling next up for Canada with Geneviève Thibault behind her. Talk about hair game in men's skeleton, hair game in women's bobsled is also a massive bone of contention. It's strong with these two coaches. Richardson in the background. Just want to say hi to Tom Delahunty, who stepped away from the Canadian program at the end of last season. Currently in Cornwall preparing for Christmas. What about Rissling? Licia Rissling, another first-time World Cup athlete this season.
Energy up there.
Stefan Bosch in the background in the hat. Looking after all these athletes. 5:69. She has the lead.
Watch the exit. That's very quiet. Good. No steering there. No steering there. Big rattle in the sled, though.
Yeah, I wonder if that's the handle.
Trying to chase down her.
Starting handle often rattles forwards and backwards in our ears from the truck, as long as it's not parted.
She hung it there. She's not steering. The sled's coming straight. Not steering at all. I'm impressed.
Top speed. She's faster than anybody else at the moment. 71.4 miles an hour and building.
Very quiet eyes and hands here.
Good looking run from Licia Rissling.
We jinxed her there. Low, low. She held it down there. Watch her at 18-19 here. Whoa! She almost hit it.
Building the lead, driving away from her compatriot. Christine de Bruyne is second. Alicia
wow, 56.64.
400.
That's 28. That's 34 hundredths.
Yep.
We're getting closer to that medal. 36 hundredths off that track record. That was a good drive. I was impressed all the way down the track.
Very nice drive.
Canadians 1-2. The Romanians 3rd, 4th, but we've got a big name coming up next. Look at these lines. Her head, her eyes. Maybe get down a little bit more.
Track is
skid there on the last part of the. Look at this. This is airborne. Oh, that she was made that mistake up on the exit of the chicane, and she didn't catch up all the way down here through 19.
It's probably a couple of tenths of a second. Kaylee Humphries next up, a multiple winner on this track. 3 wins in the last 5 years on this track for Kaylee Humphries.
5:42 is the start record.
That's held by Lana Myers and Sherelle Garrett. 5:52. Again, probably still just a little cold at the top to get that start.
If she gets it out to 3,500 here by Shady, we could have a track record with about a couple taps there. That's unlike her.
The Devil's Highway with it.
This is the 3rd Canadian sled in a row. Canada will go 1, 2, 3 unless Kaylee Humphries crashes this, and that would be a frigid result. Yeah.
25 to 27. Rissling was fast down here. This advantage that Kaylee's got is related to the start.
71.3, 81.5.
Nice.
Rissling was a mile an hour quicker, but Humphries will lead. The gap will come down to around
22. This won't be the track record. This is great. Ducks are ahead. 56.40. We're within 12 hundredths of it.
Yeah. But close.
I'm impressed with her teammate, Rissling.
Yeah.
1,700. She lost to Kaylee Humphries at the start by 17 hundredths and only lost to her by 24 at the bottom. We were saying she had a good run. This is a mistake by Kaylee. Hit twice. She hit before the take on to 4. Here, look at the speed difference. Rissling had the better kilometers per hour through the Bend section, fast part of the track. 1/10 of a kilometer, Martin, doesn't sound like much, but when you're dealing with hundredths of seconds, it does mean something.
Canada 1, 2, 3, Romania 4, 5. Where will our Korean sleds fit in? This is Kim Yu-ran with Kim Yeon-seong behind her. First of the 2 Canadian women's lineups here. Canadian, Korean. And this is the first time in World Cup sliding that we've had Koreans in women's bobsled. We've had the 2-man, the 4-man, we've had men's skeleton. And this year, as we get 2 years out from Pyeongchang, the Koreans have added women's bobsled and women's skeleton to their World Cup portfolio.
You know, their first event last weekend or 2 weeks ago in Whistler, you thought that they'd been around here for a long time. They're very well schooled.
Well, Whistler definitely their home track, but they will know this track well.
They've been here a lot.
Yeah, they've all learned. One of the brand new sleds with that flat nose, no bridge up the cowling there. It's a very different kind of thinking on the aerodynamic profile.
Look at her sit too. Look at the way, you know, Koreans. We all know how good they are. Excuse me about the men's skeleton. just going to find their way into the women's bobsled program, and eventually they'll be good at this too.
Make sure they have plenty of representation when they get to Pyeongchang. We're going there in early April for the pre-Olympic early March, yeah, late March, for the pre-Olympic tryouts. It'll be the final World Cup race of the season.
Yeah, she's 6,400 down at the halfway part. She, watch out here, yeah. She's you know, she's 6,400 down at the top of the track near Shady, and she's only 7,800 down here. That's not too bad. You know, she is 591 start compared to Humphreys, who had a 3,900 better start and only 78 at the bottom. You know, when you do the math, that's not too bad for a first-year competitor.
Riesling, followed by her teammate.
Watch the runner tips here, John. Takes the tap, doesn't panic.
No, very well schooled. You know, the Koreans are very meticulous in the way they approach sport, as we know that how good they are in women's golf, men's golf. Bobsledding, the same principles apply.
So Canada 1, 2, 3, Korea in 4th place with Kim and Kim. Now what about Seong-hae Lee and Miran Shin? Miran on the brakes in the background. Again, stripping down to this single layer of lycra. Nobody's wearing big thick jumpers, old school style under this. This is all about speed. You just deal with the cold. Good hit from the women as well.
You think that's easy, jumping in over that cowling like that? Great in down, great aerodynamic profile. 6:04 start. That's way off the pace, and that's going to make it worse. Bang, look at her come straight. Again, they're very well schooled. This is the first time we've seen them, these two races. We were impressed with their finish time as much as their ability coming down the track under control.
The deal now, of course, is they've got to learn. They're in at the deep end. They've had a couple of years on ice getting ready for World Cup competition, but it's all about building experience. That's what gives you speed.
Yeah, they got to get some experience at the start, too. So the start time right now. Ooh, watch out, she's late there. She threw it. And that 18-19. Never over until it's over. There's been a lot of people succumb to 18-19. The transition between those two curves.
Canada 1, 2, 3, Korea 4, 5, Romania tied for 6th position with their 2 sleds. So Lee and Shin drop in behind their teammates with a 57.45 run. So their teammates were a quarter of a second faster.
Look at the climb into the heart. This is where she came off here a little late. She comes down, then she goes back up on the outlet. Watch this. See this? She comes down. Now she's back up. She flops into this 18, and then 18. She's really got to steer hard here. She didn't come off on 2 runners, though. She did a really good job correcting herself. But when you correct yourself, you lose a lot of time.
Brittany Reinbold with
push bar problem
behind her.
Push bar problem. They got. Where's the clock? Have they started the clock yet?
Yeah.
They got a minute, so they got 45 seconds. They corrected it, but she's got to watch out now. This thing could collapse on her.
Yeah. Well, Richard, the technician who services all these sleds, will make sure that it's good to go. She not only pushes the sled forward, she also uses it as a lever to get herself into the sled, and it's good.
Oh,
now, Willie,
the brake didn't get in. Driver didn't get in quick enough.
She couldn't get in.
Well, I don't know what happened there. She might have caught her foot in the D-ring, but it's about over. She doesn't. I mean, her start time was the 2nd best start, but now she's got to put everything what happened out of her mind, because now she's got to get this to the bottom. And, you know, she's got a 2nd heat to correct, but that mistake that's made, you can't get that back. This is a flight instructor. Lauren Gibbs, volleyball player from Brown.
2600s off the lead. She's currently lying in 2nd place to Kaylee Humphreys.
Something in the track there.
A little bit of debris. 3rd spot Now she has managed to recover from that problem at the start.
This is not bad at all.
Good trip down from Brittany Reinbold, third place for the USA, 41 hundredths off the lead. So lots of room for improvement in the second heat.
Wow, well, listen to what she says here.
56.81, getting 56.81 downtime.
I don't know if that was Brittany or not. I have a feeling that was Gibbs in the background there. So
What happened
Brittany
is her
has
foot, and look at it, she's
in.
got her foot hooked on the D-ring there. Something happened, but
something.
that was not with the way she practices, I can tell you that.
They're not roomy sleds to get into, any of these, and the BMWs are particularly narrow. Nadezhda Sergeyeva of Russia, watching in training yesterday, had such a big hit coming into the labyrinth, it popped her visor open.
Brake pin popped up in the air.
At minus 25 and 75 miles an hour, she had no protection on her eyes and didn't dare take her hands off the D-rings to shut it. She better have a bit of tape on there to hold it down today.
Bad and Whistler showed some improvements here. 64 start. See her quiet. She can be up here. Curve 1 to 2. That's a mistake.
Like the other top Russians, Sergeyeva wasn't here in January.
Navigating your way down.
So it sounds smooth.
Nadezhda only did 2 World Cup races last year.
Real high and shady.
Koenigsegg. Russians sort of jiggled their team around a little.
Ooh, she came out of there with 3 hits. That's the first person we've seen with 3 hits.
That was the definitive wrong line everywhere there, wasn't it?
Let it come out. It's Benham's bend too early. She looks like a 4th place run. 5th. Boy, she lost a lot of time in the bottom part of the track. Look at the coach. There's Zubkov on the right. Long-time Russian female pilot, Tokovaya on the left there.
Yep.
Nice to see her back.
My results don't go far back enough to show where Victoria Tokovaya finished in her races here.
Nadezhda Sergeyeva of the Russian Federation threw him down
Look at the length of the stride. You know, I said she got too high and shady. You want to be right where the Lake Placid is. She was up near the roof.
You know, he took all the lights off.
Yeah.
Jamie Grubel-Poser has Aja Evans behind her on the sled today. So Jamie has slid with Lauren Gibbs. She was with Lauren last weekend, 2 weekends ago, and so they're just swapping the team around a little. Yeah, Jamie took bronze in Whistler with Lauren Gibbs. Aja Evans behind her this weekend.
Aja was on that Olympic bronze medal team. With Jamie.
Getting the band back together.
This should be a great start. Could be low 50s.
Good hit from the 2 girls. So important to get that synchronization together. If the sled starts moving before the driver gets to the
44.
That's a great start. 42
200s off the record.
That record is going today somehow or other.
Jamie Grubel-Poser can keep these lines. She will be in possession of the track record with that start. She's 8 to 16. That's expected because of the start. Now she should get it out to 20-22 at the next clock if she's online.
October
25.
October 2012, these 2 girls set the start record at 5:43. They've just done a 5:44.
Now she's got to get it into the 30s here. It's 39. This is track record all the way.
Here
Gets to 18-19. She's going to own it. The track record is going down right here.
56:28 is the track record set by Alana Myers-Taylor on December the 13th, 20
by 6/10. Wow.
And it may not last for long. I'm writing this down on my piece of paper.
The Olympic bronze medal team back together. And, well, she won the event last year, Jamie Grubel-Poser here, but, right?
She did with Sherelle Garrett, yeah.
Wow. This
track record, it was a...
What an accelerator. You know, needless to say, she's seen this track a lot of times.
Once again,
lines,
Jamie
couple hits.
Gruber through and down, new track record.
Ooh,
Up
look
next,
at the brakeman come up there a little bit.
Rodionova.
Saw the head move up.
Track is clear from the finish to start one.
Jamie Gruber poser, new track record leading from multiple winner here, Kaylee Humphries of Canada. Alexandra Rodionova of Russia with Yulia Shoksheva behind her. The most experienced of the Russian lineups in terms of driver and brakewoman. Rodionova, a former luge athlete.
Like that guy named Zubkov. He came from the luge program in the late 90s.
He's doing the same with his daughter, isn't he? Alexander Zubkov there on the right of the screen. His daughter is sliding luge at the moment. I wonder if she'll continue luging or become a bobsledder.
Starts. Russians don't have the starts. The men's or the well, I'll say Kazanov tomorrow in the four-man could prove us wrong. Yeah, he had the second, third best starts up in Whistler last week when he won the four-man competition. 5,300's back already. That's a lot of time to lose in the top part of this track. That's not just the start.
Line's good. She comes out of shady two, right down the center. Exactly where she needs to be.
The Russian men lost a lot of time up top, but maintained it with decent speed at the bottom. This is perfect through there, but 81.2 miles an hour. The best speed down there's 2 kilometers better.
2 miles.
2 miles an hour better.
So 5-6 kilometers now better. So she's a long way off the pace. 5th place.
Second back. Boy, the coaches will shake their heads about that.
Yeah. Alexander Zubkov looks relatively happy, but there's definite room for improvement there.
Zubkov won a silver medal in Torino in four-man. He won a two-man bronze in Whistler in 2010 and double gold medals. But hey, look at the way the brakeman's riding here. Look at the bouncing around back.
Look at the legs in front, and then her head between her knees.
You know, you can't ride back there like a sandbag. I mean, this is perfect. This is right in the middle. Look how it bounces. It's really tough to make this track smooth because the weather changes here so much. We mentioned that before.
Misha McNeil with Mika Moore behind her. Anya Kay doing the final day's training yesterday with Misha, so giving Mika Moore day off to recuperate and prepare for race day. First of 2 heats for the Women's Bobsleigh World Cup. Round 2 here in Lake Placid.
Misha and Mika.
Yeah.
Were they trying to confuse us?
Same spelling, different pronunciation.
Start not what you want. Now look how low she is in the sled. I talked about some of the drivers being too high. Watch out here. Really rough out of curve 2. Did pretty good there out of 3. Just hit once, let it come straight.
The great woman, a sprinter, former Welsh record. I think actually current Welsh record holder in her discipline.
She looked pretty good up there in Whistler last week.
9th at the start. She's up to 6th on the splits, looking to pull ahead of Alexandra Rodionova. That was a wild exit.
Wild or hellacious, either one.
Up to 5th. Chasing down Brittany Reinbold and Lauren Gibbs of the USA for 4th place now. How close is she going to be at the line? Could be very tight with the Americans for 4th.
She can't really duck her head. Her head's already down there too low. But yeah, she's only 1100ths back from Reinbold, and Reinbold beat her substantially at the start.
200ths ahead of Rodionova, the Russian. So 4th, 5th, and 6th covered by 1300ths of a second.
Well, that was some ride that she had. Here's the problem. She didn't steer out of curve 2, and coming off there that late caused a skid. And into 3, watch how hard she hits here. That's a real hard hit, but she lets it come straight after. She corrects very nicely into the take on to curve 4. But watch these lines. You know, you don't want to watch if you're the coach, because wow, it's up there. Watch the brakeman pop up. Ooh, brakeman stayed in there pretty good. That was a hard hit in that sled.
Easier to watch if you're a coach than if you're in the back seat. Christina Hengster of Austria with Sanna Decker behind her. Christina Hengster returning to World Cup form for Austria 2 seasons ago, and it looks as though she has never been away. In sparkling form last season.
Last week, 2 weeks ago,
yeah, absolutely. Silver medalist behind Kaylee Humphries in Whistler.
So she'll give up some time here at the start. She'll be 1,500s, 2,000s back. 2,800s back, 6 best start, but this is one of the better. Oh, jinxed her. Better drivers. Gets good speed on the bottom part of the track. Look at that correction. She hit once, sled comes straight. Now she positions to the Devil's Highway to get as much speed as she can. Watch her at Shady. Is she right on the Lake Placid, right above the word lake? Yes, right on. Perfect exit. Now we'll see what kind of acceleration she can get down here. Boy, that was nice there.
6th place on the splits, up to 5th position. Oh, big skid through the chicane and the double hit.
That's a surprise at that. Way off the pace, surprised.
This in the mix with Brittany Reinbold, Misha McNeil, Alexandra Rodionova. She's behind Rodionova by 100th of a second.
That's not a good run for the person who won the silver medal in Whistler 2 weeks ago on a very demanding track like Lake Placid. You know, on these tracks where the start means a lot, but you can get away with an average deficient start time, which she's got. But there she just, maybe the wrong runners. But this is, this is it. This is a big mistake right here. This is why she's in 7th. That's out of curve 1. That's as bad as you could do. When you do that at high speed, it doesn't affect you. Like right here, these 3 hits. 1, 2, and then 3 hits here. So she probably had as bad a trip as she's had all week.
From the finish to start 1.
Okay, we've had a new track record already today from Jamie Grubel-Poser and Asia Evans, our current leaders. And that record was set by Alana Myers-Taylor and Sherelle Garrett. Sherelle not here this weekend. Lolo Jones, though, making her first World Cup start of the season behind Alana Myers-Taylor.
Watch out.
5:42 is the start record. That's the first we need to look at. And then 55:81. Alana in fine form at the moment, in a very good place. Look at the quads as well. What a quickly
Lolo Jones is in
5:48, good start from them.
Clean. 59.5 good speed. A little too much in curve 2. 3 is good.
Currently
Crash last or 2 weeks ago in Whistler when she was like 30, 40 hundredths ahead. She was flying.
And finish on the podium here in January. Her previous 4 appearances, bronze, silver, gold.
900ths was related to the start.
Little wild.
See if she could.
Look at the speed, just look at the way this sled is moving.
That's pretty good lines through there. Speed, 82 miles an hour. 83 is the best. She's 11. She'll probably stay 11, 1200ths behind.
It's going to be USA 1-2, and Jamie Grubel-Poser leads at the end of the first heat from Alana Myers-Taylor. Double Olympic champion Kaylee Humphries in 3rd place. Last 3 winners on this track in reverse order. 3 seasons ago, Kaylee Humphries. 2 seasons ago, Alana Myers-Taylor. Last year, Jamie Grubel-Poser. Looks like none of them have forgotten how to get the best out of themselves at Lake Placid.
Just almost snuck through there, but boy, the sled stayed very straight in that chicane, the speed part of the track. And she got beat by 14, but she got beat by 400ths at the start. So that was a pretty equal drive down the track. There's Brian Scheimer telling her what she did, but hey, this is how to do it right there. Jamie Grubel-Poser, Asia Evans, 200ths off the start record, and at the bottom, they smashed the old track record by about 40 hundredths. And she won here last year. Looks like she's on the verge of having a good chance of winning again. But we got 1 more heat to go on the track at Lake Placid, and the track might have something to say about who finishes where.
I think the track is going to get quicker as well. Your top 3, all winners in the last 3 years. Jamie Grubel-Poser, Alana Myers-Taylor, and Kaylee Humphries are the 3 going for the medals. Alicia Rissling, Brittany Reinbold, Misha McNeil. They'll be battling to stay ahead of Alexandra Rodionova, Christina Hengster, and Christine De Bruyn has got a battle on her hands as well to stay ahead of Russia's Nadja Sergeva. The 2 Koreans, Kim and Lee, ahead of the Romanians, and all will go in our 2nd and deciding heat. And for the women, that comes up at 3:45 p.m. local time, which is 21:45.
We're back here pretty quick for the men's bob here. What, 14:30?
Exactly right. Men's bob, two-man coming back up. Stay with us here in Lake Placid.